first, I had this pulled over for a couple of days because I thought it was really interesting. And I know we do have a decent audience in the state of Connecticut. And a lot of you may be listening on WOR who have gone in to the New York area, but might live in Connecticut as well. The senator, one of the senators from there, Buck, I'm curious if you buy that this was ever actually true. Senator Chris Murphy says he's talked to many parents of female athletes who are perfectly okay with their daughters having to compete against boys. Believe it or not, talking about the culture shift, this is from a New York Times podcast. Listen to Cut 7.
If you had a daughter competing against a biological male, would you find it unfair?
I don't have girls, right? So I necessarily can't, right? I can't put myself in that position.
Have some empathy, right? For those of us who do, right? So would you find it unfair?
I mean, I've talked to lots of parents of girls in Connecticut who do not think it's unfair and who think that the benefits that those athletes get from being part of a team is important, and they don't mind or feel threatened by the competition. I think everybody can come to their own conclusion, but your conclusion is the official line of liberalism right now. It's you're saying you don't. My conclusion is that I would support those athletes being able to participate in my community, right? In my community, but I would not substitute my judgment and my community's judgment for another community's judgment.
Okay. So first of all, that is all gobbledygook. Mm-hmm. Do you believe, Buck? This is the real Democrat Party perspective. Remember, all 47 Democrats in the Senate refused to vote against men being able to compete against women. Do you believe that the moms and dads of Connecticut with daughters are actually coming up to Connecticut's senator, even though Connecticut is a blue state? Oh, I think Trump lost Connecticut by like 10 points, so it's not that crazy. Check that for me, team in New York, to see what the actual margin was. I know he lost New Jersey by 5. He lost, I believe, New York by 12, if I'm remembering correctly. I think Connecticut was around 8 to 10, but let's check. Do you actually believe, though, that people are coming up to Senator Murphy who have actual daughters competing in athletics and saying, hey, we don't have any problem at all with boys competing against our girls?
No, I mean, I do not believe this, but Clay, to be fair, I'm not a biologist, so I guess I don't have the expertise. Yes, remember when they were pulling that for a while?
Yes.
They're like, how do you know gender? Are you a biologist? I'm like, I think I can handle this one. They say this. Look, they have not abandoned the position at all, really, which is pretty remarkable.
Doubled, tripled, quadrupled down on it, even so, Buck. I would argue they've endorsed it even more significantly after the election.
Yeah, even they have taken their lumps for this, and they're still doing it, right? Which is a little bit like what they've had with climate change in the past, where climate change is something you say to get attention and to raise money. But then when it comes to policy, a lot of the time, they realize it's too insane and they don't even want the thing they pretend to want. Are there updates on this, by the way? You just look like you pointed at the phone for...
Well, no. I was laughing because I've got 2 more clips that I think you're going to enjoy. I just wanted to have some ridiculous, because I am headed off to the beach, like I said, to see if anybody is posting political messages, shells on the beach. I'm going to be down there.
So this is Clay's pre-beach lightning round is what we're in here
this
right
is
now.
lightning round.
Go ahead, yes.
I have things that I think you are going to enjoy, and I know our audience can enjoy. Our buddy Steve Sullivan, also known as Jake Sullivan, as the Biden has dementia fallout continues, Jake Sullivan was asked if he had been called Steve.
There's actually
remember, anything that Jake Sullivan posts, I want you guys to just say, thanks, Steve, for the rest of his career. Any post that is on the internet that you can track down, Jake Sullivan, just say, thanks, Steve. Jake Sullivan asked if Biden called him Steve. This is real. Cut to
There's actually an excerpt in the book where it says he forgot your name in December 2022. He called you Steve a couple of times. Did that happen?
I do not recall that ever happening. And I will tell you, Joe Biden knows my name. He knows my name like I talk to him even now. So I was surprised to read that in the book. But what I will more generally say is I had to wake the president up in the middle of the night when there were crises. I had to go into him at various points when unexpected things happened, and surely plenty of unexpected things happened during the time that he was in office and that I was in the seat. I did that over the course of the 4 years, and I saw him operating, decision-making, executing as commander-in-chief throughout that time.
Okay. I got to say, Clay, I do not recall is Beltway speak for I don't want to admit this, but I'm just going to try to move on to something else as fast as possible.
I also love that the questioner was British. Can we just, I don't even need to hear the answer. The fact that it's a British question makes it even funnier. This is cut 2. Just listen, the British guy. Hey, did he actually call you Steve twice?
There's actually an excerpt in the book where it says he forgot your name in December 2022. He called you Steve a couple of times. Did that happen?
All right, I just forgot your name. I can't do accents, but forgot your name is an amazing thing. Called you Steve. All right, and here, Buck, this is amazing. I had them pull this over. You'll recall yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of Joe Biden challenging Donald Trump to the debate that would end his political career. I would submit to all of you out there that short of Alexander Hamilton agreeing to duel Aaron Burr, this is one of the all-time great miscalculations in history, that Biden taunted Trump into a debate that Trump knocked him out and ended his political career in. But, well, first of all, let's play that because it's only like 20 seconds. And then, Buck, I'm going to call for it. I want you to listen to your friends at Morning Joe exult over how amazing Biden's challenge was from that same day. So this was 1 year ago. We played this yesterday. Here is Biden challenging Trump to debate him. It's only 12 seconds, like 8 different cuts. He could barely say it. Listen.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. And since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
Okay. Ha, ha, ha. All right, Buck. Here are your boys. I don't hear you talk very much about your favorite show, Morning Joe, as much anymore. It feels like we kind of got a rift in the love affair.
They lost me, Clay. They lost me. If they're not going to talk about how there is literally fascism in America and how they're going to be pulled out of their homes any minute, it's just not entertaining. It's just third-tier political analysis from people who would be better served spending their time drinking Southsides at the country club.
Here is the reaction from the entire panel on Morning Joe about how amazing Joe Biden's challenge of Trump was. Cut 6.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God.
Wow, that's been subtle now that round.
Still stuck on, I hear you're free on Wednesdays. Wow. Your thoughts?
The best part of this announcement that was just made is that announcement of the President of the United States. Brief, punchy, clearly understandable, basically saying, let's go, tough guy. I think that's what a lot of people are looking for from Joseph Biden.
I wonder whether his people, who understand the less people hear of Trump, the better the campaign does. I wonder if he's going to find an excuse to back out of these debates, too.
I think he will definitely try to. I mean, the reality is, you know, to use, I come from Brownsville, Brooklyn. Donald Trump is a political punk. He does not want to go on stage without a cheering squad, without all of the things that he needs to make him feel all charged up.
This is one of the worst bits of analysis in American political history,
Yes.
but it reminds me of the woman who I think I could play that like 1,000 times in a row. The woman who taunted the guy at the liquor store about how all the women were showing up and Donald Trump was going to lose. Remember that clip?
Oh, I'm a political analyst, and the voices of the women of America are going to be heard, sir. That's why.
Yeah, I
She
remember.
was buying her champagne or whatever it was to celebrate Kamala's big win. I wonder if the champagne's still on ice.
I love the notion of a dunk on somebody. We're like, oh, I'm a political analyst. It's like, I think we all are political analysts,
the
honey.
guy who I bet voted for Trump, who was there working in the liquor store and was saying, "Oh, I hear it's pretty close," and we need to play that clip again maybe next week, bring it out of retirement. But this I just thought was perfect. It's a 1-year anniversary. That's what you would have heard on MSNBC right after Joe Biden challenged Trump. Trump's a coward. He may not even show up. Wow, look how brassy, look how ballsy Biden is. This is the kind of fight we wanted to see. Hey, it's clear, it's articulate. Anytime you have to say it's clear, it's articulate, I mean, about somebody whose job is to communicate, not necessarily a really great idea. If somebody said, you know, Clay, he and Buck, they can talk. Well, it would be really troubling if people were like, man, I can't even understand those guys who talk for 3 hours on the radio all day. A huge part of being president is just basic communication skills, which Biden did not have by the time he was doing that video, for sure.
And, you know, I think that one thing that is easier to make the case about now, even though we recognized it at the time, it actually does matter to have a CEO. It does matter to have a decider. Remember Bush coined the term, or at least popularized. He's like, I'm the decider.
Yeah.
And people joked around about that, but it's actually a very good way of putting it. I mean, that's what a CEO is, the guy who decides, or gal, who decides stuff, who makes the call. And what you see for the 4 years of the Biden presidency is there really wasn't a decider.
Yeah.
And you could say, oh, well, and we did, that it's the apparatus, it's the machinery around him and all that stuff. But that's actually not as efficient and not good enough. And there was a leadership vacuum, even for a Democrat president. It's not, oh, I just don't like the decisions that were made. It's quite clear that there was no one steering the ship. And there were other people who had their hands on the steering wheel, but there was no one person. One thing that you know for sure, Trump is the decider.
Yep.
He decides. No one's like, you know what? I'm just going to override Trump today. Like, that doesn't happen. And if he says something's going to happen, everybody hops to it.
My bad on the 2024 presidential election in Connecticut, by the way. I thought that it was closer than it was in that state, 56-42. So 56.4 to 41.9.
I wish we could find a way to cleave off the Republican areas of Connecticut, which are in the more rural parts of it, which are beautiful. And I've spent a lot of time in, and I honestly love that area of the country, and just get them away from the maniacs in Hartford and along the coast who put all these bad policies into place.
Yeah,
Clay, I
was just going to say, to contextualize that for you, we talk about this all the time. 737,000 people in Connecticut voted for Trump versus 992,000 for Kamala. There's a lot of people, in other words, that are behind enemy lines.
We could flip Connecticut. It's we might even be able to spare some Floridians, but they don't want to be in the cold weather. I was going to say, we'd send some Republicans up there to move. Clay, before you go, can I just somebody wanted to send you off for the weekend properly before you go and search for seashells on the seashore?
Yes.
Jeff wrote to me, Buck, you got to watch that Clay guy. Tell him we're all glad that the University of Tennessee decided to bring back D1 football after 28 years. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds salty.
Here's what I'll say. I understand why Alabama fans are in mourning, because 2 of the last 3 years, the University of Tennessee has whipped your ass. All right, I'm headed to the beach on that. Buck, you're going to finish up. I'll look for messages. I'll see if my boy Comey's there with a telescope, trying to figure out what's the thing called. I always get that thing called. Not the spyglass.
Electromagnometer thing?
No. The thing that all the detectives have, like the magnifying glass, right?
Oh,
like
yeah,
everybody walks around with. That's a weird name.
I thought you meant searching for metal in the beach. I was way off. All right, have a great time. Tell Lauren and the boys we all send hugs. All right, you know what I just did? This is the truth. I went downstairs for a second in the commercial break, and I picked up my Good Ranchers box, which was at my front door. It's amazing. My Good Ranchers box. This means it's here just in time for the weekend. I got the King Cut box. I've got 4 amazing bone-in ribeyes and 4 filet mignon. And then I added, because you can customize the box, some delicious bacon, some seed oil, and gluten-free chicken nuggets. Good Ranchers, my friends. This is my protein box. This is what you got to go with. Goes right into my freezer, ready whenever I want to get down with some fantastic steak, some excellent meat. And, we're going to be heading into some holiday weekends coming up. Now is a great time to get your Good Ranchers box set up. Good Ranchers is where Carrie and I get our steaks, our chicken, and our burgers. Subscribe to Good Ranchers today, and they're giving you a great deal. For the life of your subscription, ground beef, wild-caught salmon, chicken nuggets, or bacon in every box you choose. That's about $300 of free meat year after year of that subscription. Good Ranchers isn't just about incredible value and flavor. They support American jobs, farmers, and values. Each cut is pre-trimmed, vacuum-sealed, freezer-ready for up to a year. Go to goodranchers.com. Trust me on this. You're going to love the box. I mean, the King Cut box is fantastic. They've got so many different boxes, though. Use code BUCK when you go to goodranchers.com. Unlock your free meat for life, plus $40 off. Goodranchers.com. Promo code BUCK. $40 off and free meat for life.